It is Friday Night in Phoenix, and you're locked into the Absolute Geek podcast, the only geek podcast in the world that fucking matters. All right?
Or
My
apparently
name is
has
Matt.
QAnon.
The only QAnon member here is you, sir.
No. When I read that, I'm like, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
A genius. He saw right through your lies.
So the reason I'm late, because that's been the topic in the chat for the last 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, like Stumbling Jedi says,
Suicide Squad a second watch, and I just finished it.
Take your time, Lance. Some of us aren't in the East time zone staying up late to see you. You know.
Oh, that's so nice.
Some people don't want to see the glare from your head. Yeah, he said it before I did.
That's awesome.
Your head. That's fantastic.
To shine this dome.
I bet.
I had to buy a special light just so that the reflection from my overhead light doesn't shine on my head. Now this puts it more on my face.
Is it a ring light?
No, it's just an LED lamp that has a.
You over here sounding like you're all fancy, and you're like, I got this light, and I got to do this, and I was like, it's a $5 light I got at Walmart. It's okay. It's okay. It's about $5 light I got at Walmart.
Dude, so yeah, man. What have you guys been up to this week?
That was
slowly
a very
dying.
Coherent sentence, Lance. So yeah, what are you guys up to? What?
Trying to change the subject.
Well, Matt's slowly dying over here. I'm sorry to hear that.
Dying. Yeah, slowly dying.
I mean, I am too. Technically, all of us are slowly dying. Every day we live is closer to death.
I don't know how much of your business you've put out there, Matt, but they feel like they got a fix for you or what?
Well, I mean, yes and no. It's a lot of shit going
Matt
on.
Matt has
with me.
genital warts that has seeped over to his butthole.
Genital warts.
God damn it, Lance! I told you not to tell anybody. Stop it. No, just like I hate. Like I've never been a big going to the doctor guy, and I hate going to the doctor because you always find out they're always looking for what's wrong with you. You know, you never go to the doctor and hear, "Hey, man, you're fucking rocking it," and it's always like, "Well, this is what's wrong with you, right?" And just fucking
the confidence boost.
Go to the doctor if they're 100%.
Yeah, well,
you got to go in for your check-ins.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, man,
you're fat.
You know,
your heart isn't right.
You got a, you got a hernia here that we could probably fix, but if we put the mesh in, it's just probably gonna open up in a couple of years again anyway. So you'll have to get that surgery again, or you could stand to lose a couple pounds, so you could go to a bariatric surgeon and get that done, and they'll fix your hernia at the same time, or we could try to do the permanent repair, but we're gonna have to cut you from waist to armpit to be able to get through there to do it." And it's just like, oh man, you kind of got a little bit of a fatty liver, and it's just like, all right, cool, man. What else am I dying from? Please lay it on me. Let's. Tell me what else I'm dying from.
That's like those commercials I see. Like, do you suffer from hair loss? Well, take this medicine that might give you AIDS.
Right? Take this medicine that'll help you regrow hair, but the side effects are leaky bowels.
Yep.
Hepatitis C, B, and the undiscovered yet hepatitis H. It's like,
I have hepatitis X.
Man, if they're gonna cut you from stomach to armpit, you may as well tell them while you're in there, can you go ahead and give all my other organs a tune-up and pull out all that extra fat
just
that I don't want in
there, man.
Just get rid of all that crap.
Just tell them to bedazzle all your organs with Sephora crystals, or what are they called? Swarovski or whatever. Just have a shiny liver.
So yeah, it's been just a lot of trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. So
no, nothing's been scheduled as of yet because you're still weighing your options here, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got an incisional hernia from when I had my gallbladder out 2 years ago that that's got to get fixed. Like I went to the doctor again yesterday to meet with my surgeon, and he's poking around. He's like, "Oh yeah, the hole's right there where they removed your gallbladder from." And it's like, "All right." He's like, "It's not very, very big though, but your bowel's kind of stuck in it." And I was like, "Well, if I push on it, it feels like yes." He's like, "Yeah, that's you pushing your intestines right back into the pouch." I'm like, "Sweet." Sweet. So
meanwhile, when you said bowel, I could have sworn I heard vowel, and I was just like, well, can I just pull out an A? Or
there's no A-E-I-O or U's in this situation, and definitely not sometimes a Y. But
Stumbling Jedi says he'll take your affliction so that he can ruin some pants.
yeah, leaky bowels in. I'll take it. I have a closet full of pants I have to ruin. There you go. But yeah, not gonna bring the show down with dying, but that's what happens when.
Well, we're all dying.
Yeah, some of us just quicker than others.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real bad case of the man cold this week. I tell you, I was laid out. I couldn't even.
Did you say the man cold or the manhole?
The man cold.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
You can tell you're still a little nasally because I heard manhole. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, no, I had a cold this week. I'm pretty sure it's not Corona.
I find it hard to believe that's what you hear. I think every time you look at Max, you just think manhole.
I just dream about his manhole.
Yeah,
his brown eye. Brown-eyed girl has a whole new meaning for me.
Hey man, starfish is it's a slang term for butthole. Is there any connection there? But
yeah, man, it's been a good week though. Here, my wife and I have been rewatching all the Harry Potter movies. That's been just kind of a fun little thing each evening that we've been doing. We literally about an hour before this show finished the 8th movie. So that's really fun. When she and I met 10 years ago now, that was our first conversation. It was right after the second Harry Potter part 2 of, the 7th book came out, and we had a good time.
Stumbling Jedi says, "Oh, dude, the man cold proves that we know what giving birth feels like."
It's true, man. It's true.
Hey, turn your gain up in your microphone a little bit, Maxie.
I don't want to. Is that better? Or is that worse? I don't know if I might have turned it down.
Man, I might have to reach into the deep pockets of internet money that this podcast produces and get you a better microphone, because you look like you're talking to a big black robot wiener.
All right, how's that? Is that better now that it's a little closer to my mouth?
Better. Yeah.
I can turn the gain up. I turn the volume up, unless I
that
turn
doesn't
it
do
down.
anything. The volume's just if you put a headset in there. But while you're messing with that,
all right, how's that?
It looks like looks like Jeff Bezos is about to take off from your desk. That's what your microphone looks like. Oh, now he's stroking it. There you go. I'm sure your Boy Scout troop will love that. Oh man.
Yeah, dude. So we pulled my kids out of school early today to go get lunch. And
no one asked about your kids.
5 minutes, and I wanted to take them back to school. I was like, this is a bad idea. Immediately fighting. Couldn't agree on where they wanted to go eat.
Yeah. I like how Max is like, nobody asked about your kids. Why are you bringing up your kids? Nobody asked you about your kids.
I want to hear more about this Elite Series 2 controller you got.
Oh, yeah, man.
He joined the club, but now we've all got our Elite Series 2 controllers.
Yeah.
Got mine right in front of me. The show started late because Lance was taking a dump. So I started playing some Halo on my PC with this bad boy.
I bought it and I didn't realize that it had like already a rechargeable battery in it. And then the case charges the controller, which is pretty cool. But I like
the
it.
Case.
It nice.
It doesn't really. Basically, the charger's at the top here of the controller, and you can put the plug into the controller while it's in the case.
No, it's wireless.
Is it? Do I just not understand what I have?
No. So the plug goes into the little brick that's there, and the controller sits on top of it.
Okay, so it still needs to plug in.
It still needs to plug in, yeah.
Yeah, but you could leave this always plugged in and then just set your controller.
Yeah,
out.
I see.
You should have just saved yourself some money and got the new Turtle Beach one. It's pretty much the same thing.
Is it? Well, Max is having a Halo party at his house next weekend, and I wanted a legit controller.
I didn't shoot you the invite because it's a 2-hour trip, but you're welcome to come.
Oh, Halo party, huh?
Yeah, I'd love to have you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll shoot you the invite, but I know it's fun.
I get a little competitive.
Oh, a lot of the people do.
Yeah.
There's a few
I
people
usually
that come
play
that
about
are really
3 games,
good.
and I'm like, fuck this game. I start throwing over tables and shit.
I've got my cousin Tyler. Well, you know Tyler. Tyler's pretty good. I would say I'm mediocre. Tyler's good. And we got another guy.
The best out of all of us.
Hunter, yes, yeah, but they don't know who Hunter is. I was just gonna say another guy that comes. He's great, and so he is never. I always want him on my team, but then I've got a bunch of other friends that come that just suck, and so that's fun.
I fall into that category. I want to know when we're gonna have a Mario Kart party.
If people bring enough Switches, we could play some Mario Kart. That's fine. Whatever.
That'd be fun, man.
I'm assuming there might be the Halo Infinite beta or tech demo. They might do another one next weekend. We might be able to try that out too.
I've been playing the Back 4 Blood beta.
Yeah,
early access beta. It's trying very hard to be Left 4 Dead 3, but it's not quite Left 4 Dead 3. Still a lot of it's fun, but it's missing a lot of the excitement and majesty that made Left 4 Dead such a good game. So
Left 4 Dead's awesome.
We'll just see how it is when the actual game comes out, but the beta hasn't been very.
I was gonna do the beta, but then I'm like, it's coming out on Game Pass. I'll just wait until it comes out in like a month or whatever and play it then.
I got in for free. They just WB sent me a access code. They're like, hey, you've played our games before. Would you like a free early access code? I was like, sure. And they're like, do you want to invite 3 of your friends? I was like, well, sure. So that's what I did.
Now I'm checking my email.
And Max, you and I were not invited, so shows you where we're at on the totem pole.
I got my different set of friends. I got my podcast crew, and I've got my competitive gaming crew that I do Call of Duty tournaments with. And
Max didn't invite you to the Halo party. So.
I know, right? We're even then.
Right? I literally was like, should I invite Matt? He lives like seriously an hour and a half away.
I never get invited to anything. That's always his excuse. Oh, you live so far, like I can't drive. Heaven forbid. I don't drive at night. In my old age, I can't see, so I can't drive at night. So that means I'm automatically nixed.
Well, Corbin, we invite him to stuff, and then he says, "Oh yeah, I'll be there." And next,
I don't know what you're talking about. You were
before the event. He's like, "My car broke down." Or
I invited Corbin again because he doesn't live too far away.
Or yet
also,
again,
Matt, you were invited. I don't know what you're talking about. You should check your Facebook.
Travis is in town, and I hear that you guys went and saw him, but you didn't extend the invite to anybody else to go see him.
I've never met the guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Travis is only my friend.
Yeah. I hear, Lance and Corbin and Jay and all these people got together to go meet with old Travis, but no one else got the invite.
Jay is the one that put it together. So I would take your
Jay's still sitting over there waiting for Corbin to start a podcast. So,
Oh man.
Jay is just in permanent limbo. He's just permanently sitting in the Beetlejuice waiting room, waiting for something to kick off.
Coming out to that, right?
There's been a sequel coming out to that movie for 10 years. It's never happening.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
I just hope Winona Ryder's not in it.
What do you got against Winona?
Shrieking for 2 hours.
She'll get confused and forget what she's in. She'll start screaming like she's in Stranger Things.
They're in the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I'm so stoked for all these freaking Marvel movies coming out. So stoked. I mean, the rest of the year is just Marvel upon Marvel upon Marvel. And then Ghostbusters sprinkled in there.
Ghostbusters is what I'm most excited about, man.
Well, it's good Segu there, Mr. Task Force C-. To get into our topics for this week, let's get into a little bit of our geek news. Heck yeah, man. Marvel's What If kicks off next Wednesday, the 11th. So we're already at What If. And What If is going to play a substantial role into the continuity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward.
Yeah, which was a surprise to me. I thought it was like a one shot, type thing, but it's supposed to further expound on the idea of a multiverse. So,
well, that's the beauty of it. Everything is now canon if they want it to be, because you can just say multiverse. So
kind of like DC's been doing since
they've been doing it for a long time, and that's fine. It's just when you say something's canon, but you say because of multiverse, it's just less exciting now for me. And that's not a bad thing. It's not meant to be a bad thing. It's just I don't know. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, I like how the director of this is like, all right, sweet. What if we can do whatever we want? So I'm gonna go in there and we're gonna make a female. What if Jane Foster was Thor right out of the comic books? Already, no, can't do that. We're gonna do that live action. Okay. Well, we want to do this incredibly elaborate thing. Can't do that. Why not? That's the back half of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
really?
that was the article I saw this week.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Really?
What was Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
They don't go into what it is, but the director of What If said that they pitched a storyline, and they got all through the pitch, and they were super excited about it. And the powers that be said, "No, you can't do that because that's the back half of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3." So they're like, "Really?" And yeah, so they basically read James Gunn's mind and was like, "Oh, okay, well, I can't do that then. Moving on." So,
which either means that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be incredibly predictable, or they're just on the same wavelength,
or it's just going to be so ridiculously elaborately wild. Yeah. Well, I mean, just look at I don't know if Max ended up reading them, but look at the really plausible leaks for Spider-Man No Way Home that came out this week. That if that's true, that movie is going to be absolutely wild. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just saying, but it's like just from the spoilers from it, that movie is going to be absolutely wild.
I am so torn. I started reading I started skimming that thing, and then I was like, do I want to know? And then I stopped. And every day since I've been like, no, I'm gonna go read it. But I still haven't read it. I don't know. I know, Lance, you've done this before.
Thing is that Howard the Duck is going to be Spider-Man's accomplice for the last half of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's his lawyer.
That's his lawyer.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Howard the Duck's his lawyer, man.
Yeah, and his beard.
No, but seriously, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it because people have been waiting for that movie, and I'm one of them in it. If anything, it's one of those instances where the spoilers didn't. It made me more pumped for the movie. Made me more Jones for the movie. And if anything else, it made me more Jones for the next Spider-Man movie. So,
well, here's the thing, and I haven't read them, of course, the spoilers, but one of the things I did see, and I don't feel bad saying this, is that the person who leaked it said that when the trailer does eventually come out, it's going to be full of fake scenes.
Fake footage, yeah.
Yeah, fake footage. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the stuff he's leaking is from a fake script or an alternate script, or it could be legit. I don't know, but
the rumor that's out there is that there are multiple endings filmed to this movie already. So who knows what they're gonna go with?
You may have read one of them that may not actually be the final one.
All I can tell you that if you want to get imp on your storylines for Spider-Man before this movie comes out to fit into this movie, you want to read Spider-Man, you want to read in Web of Spider-Verse and One More Day and One Moment in Time, and then you'll kind of feel like you're caught in, because it's taking a bunch of storylines from what I've read and it's gonna pump them all together. So,
are you taking notes, Lance? Because I was about to take notes, but I was gonna type them.
Facebook it to me later. But dude, Matt, I did read the is it Symbiote Wars?
The Sinister Wars?
Sinister Wars and Amazing Fantasy, based on your recommendation.
Nice.
And I enjoyed both
Well, that's good because this week there's a little shakeup in that because this week's issue of Sinister War number 2 wasn't very good, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, I'm super stoked for What If. Already going to get a second season. They're talking about for What If, and some of these characters are going to return. So I'm sure we're going to see Captain Carter more. I'm sure we'll see more of the Doctor Strange, Spider-Man.
Well, and the idea is this isn't a cohesive story, right? It's just a bunch of shorts. Each episode is going to be self-contained is the idea.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they use this as a way to try to keep T'Challa alive and moving forward and to where they don't have to reference him in Black Panther as much so they can hand off the mantle to Shuri and let that go with a smooth transition. I wouldn't be surprised if this plays more into like Wakanda Forever and the Black Panther sequel.
There were spoilers that came out about that too. About Black Panther.
I have not read those.
Saying that
you're talking about the Namor
gonna die off screen. Somebody else is gonna be Black Panther, and then Shuri will become Black Panther towards the end of the movie.
I hope it's M'Baku.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants to break your Baku.
Winston Dunn, I think, is the actor or something like that.
Yeah, I like him.
Can break my Baku.
I've heard that from a lot of thirsty women. Women thirst just like us.
Yes. We got some big news on the Netflix front this week as 2 popular shows got renewed for its 4th season over at the streaming service. We got Cobra-Kai, of course. I'm super excited for season 4 of Cobra-Kai. If you're not watching Cobra-Kai, what are you doing with your life?
Which is coming in December, right?
Yes.
Didn't season 3 just come out?
It came out the beginning of the year. Yeah, it came out in January. Right after.
Yeah.
Right after.
Wow, we're getting 2 seasons in 1 year.
Well, you gotta consider these don't take that long to shoot because there's not really any special effects or.
Yeah, you're right. Like there's stunt work and stuff, but yeah, and you're dealing with kids who are they're adults. They're in all those actors are probably early 20s, but they're starting to age and they need to look as close to teenagers as they can. So they're probably trying to pump this stuff out.
Yeah. Speaking of Cobra Kai, did you see? I can't say his name for the life of me, but the main kid that Johnny takes under his wing.
Yeah, right there, Zolo.
Oh, look at that segue.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Blue Beetle, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited. In an HBO Max movie. Look, I mean,
movie or TV show? It's
a movie. It's a movie.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So
that's awesome. I like that kid.
Oh, that's cool. I like him too, but I've heard you say before you think he's a bad actor. So do you think this is going to be a good thing?
I don't think he's a good actor, but I like him.
See, I thought he was rough in the first season of Cobra Kai, and then when season 2 came, he got a little bit better. I think he was a little bit rougher when it was on YouTube Red, but now that it's transitioned to Netflix, in last season he got a lot better.
Yeah, that's fair. He's probably getting a lot better coaching.
Going to be watching this show, so I'm going to half-ass it. Oh, now ton of people are going to be watching it. So.
Well, and I think it with the journey his character went on, he had to play him. He had to really show his range, going to being basically paralyzed and learn how to walk again and all that. He had to probably really step up his chops. But
yeah, he has the biggest arc on the show, I think.
So
yeah, he had Robbie, but his is probably the bigger arc than Robbie's.
Yeah, Robbie's in last season. Robbie isn't in half the episodes.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
He's doing time. The other show that got announced for a renewal today actually was Stranger Things season 4. That's going to come next year, 2022. I mean, by the time they're done with Stranger Things, these kids are going to be adults. I mean, already look, dude's walking the high top fade.
Most of
the old kid and play haircut.
Some of these already are adults.
Yeah.
I'm wondering when this was filmed because they look fairly young still, but I may just be not remembering how they looked.
Dude, you got Steve back here looking like it's like they're trying to keep the older kids to look younger and like the younger kids are looking older. It's weird the way they're doing this stuff. But
well, and they're only doing one more season after 4, right? Isn't 5 supposed to be the end?
I think 5 is the end, yeah. But
and I thought they were filming them back to back, but
they might be. I don't know about back to back, but that wouldn't surprise me. But that's Tom, dude. There's your Miles Morales right there. I've been
he looks
pitching
cool.
for that kid to play Miles since Stranger Things started.
I don't think he's a good actor either.
I do.
I like
But
him.
then you got your first shot of Hopper back in his big puffy jacket with what looks like to be a flamethrower.
He looks a little bit less like Red Guardian there.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting ready to go take care of business. 11 being captured. Even she looks a little bit older than last time you saw him. So it'll be interesting to see how they play off, like how much time has passed.
She looks like more like Enola Holmes there than 11.
That's true. She does.
Yeah.
This guy just looks like disappointed stepfather, while this guy looks like something's worried.
His boyfriend.
Yeah. But my question is, do you think the Stranger Things fandom is still there? Has the ship sailed on Stranger Things? Because it's been I feel like almost 2 years.
2019 is the last time.
2019. So yeah, it's been 2 years since we've had a new season of Stranger Things. Do you kind of think the Stranger Things ship has sailed a little bit, or?
I don't think so, but
I'm not as excited about it as I would have been if this show came out a little bit sooner, because this isn't even coming out till next year.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I definitely think some of it has died down, but I don't think the ship has sailed. I think it's still going to be an extremely popular and in high demand show. I still think it's going to be
Kyle says I'm stoked for Stranger Things. So
yeah, I am too. I'm just curious when it's going to come out. If it's next year, they try to coincide it with holidays. So are we going to get Valentine's Day? I mean, nice V-Day release.
They should announce the release date as April Fools and then don't release it.
I wonder if it's going to be fall, because season 3 came out during the 4th of July, came out in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 was fall because it was Halloween. So I wonder if maybe it'll be winter or spring. I don't know.
Christmas,
maybe.
I'm just hoping not, because I for some reason thought this was coming out this year. I thought Stranger Things season 4 was coming out in 2021, and I have to wait a year plus for the new season. That makes me less excited about it. So I'm really hoping it's closer than that. And I think it is. Like, they had a lot of footage to show there, even though it was only 30 seconds. There was a lot of stuff. I think
it's done being filmed.
I know, and clearly some of the effects.
They released a teaser like a year ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'd be bummed if it was a year from now.
I remember they released Hopper Lives like last summer,
which was a mistake in my opinion.
Hopper Living.
I would have held that close to the chest for as long as I could.
Oh, we all knew we lived. They showed it at the end of the season, didn't they?
No, they just say the American. So there was this whole bunch of who's the American? Is it Hopper or is it?
I was 100% sure it was Hopper.
There was a bunch of conjecture about who the American was, and they wasted no time to have the teaser and show Hopper in the teaser. I would have held on a little bit longer, let people's imaginations get away.
I think you're one of the few people that was imagining it as anybody else.
No, that's not true.
I don't think it was much of a reveal, personally.
We talked about it on our podcast, our old podcast.
Yeah, I don't think it was much of a reveal. I think everyone assumed it was going to be him, because they couldn't find his body, and there was no definite death at the end of the last season. Yeah. So, Peacemaker. We got news that the Peacemaker series has already been filmed. It's done filming. It's wrapped, and it's going to also come early next year.
I somehow missed the news that there was even going to be a Peacemaker series. So when I found out,
I want to say they announced it last year at DC Fandom, like right after they showed the trailer.
They probably did. They probably did. And the only thing I did remember is that there was going to be a Suicide Squad spinoff. I didn't realize it was his show. So that's cool, though. I mean, I know we're going to talk about the movie later. I'm conflicted about his character, but I thought he did a really good job, and it was.
I'm mad at him.
Okay.
All I know is that he is standing there looking amazing with his beacon of freedom fully in display.
That toilet seat looks great.
Did he get that at Home Depot?
It's a beacon of freedom.
I think my favorite, and I don't get too far in the weeds of it, but my favorite character from that whole thing was Ratcatcher.
Ratcatcher 2?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
I liked her.
King Shark was on point.
King
No,
Shark
Matt,
was
not because she's not.
hilarious.
Oh, King Shark is pretty good.
But we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, I'm excited for the Peacemaker show. God, I can't even talk. I loved his character. I thought John Cena was hilarious in this movie. I loved his character in this movie, minus the twist at the end. I get it, but I'm interested to see where they take it past that. But I thought he did a fantastic job in this movie.
It's interesting because all these guys in the Suicide Squad we know are like bad guys, like former bad guys or whatever.
Right.
And we reviewed Fast and the Furious, and I said John Cena does not play a good bad guy. And he actually was more believable in this role than he was in Fast and the Furious. So I kind of
way more believable.
Well, because I think Fast and the Furious, he were supposed to get that air of maybe he's not such a bad guy. He's just trying to get out of his brother's shadow. And but
he was poorly written.
Yeah.
And in this, he's not the antagonist. He's just he's a bad person who's a protagonist. So it's a
bad
role.
person that thinks he's a good person by doing bad things.
There you go.
I mean, the line in the trailer was hilarious, where he's like, "Yeah, I love peace, and I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill to get it."
Yeah.
The best line was, "I will eat all the dicks on this beach for freedom."
If the bitch was covered in dicks and I had to eat every single one of them for freedom, I would do it. Yeah. If you're a huge toy collector, and if you guys remember about a year and a half ago, you guys were talking about this. Sam and I were talking about this. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover comic that came out has now spawned a Hasbro toy line that went up for pre-order this week and has already sold out. It has been selling like gangbusters. So you're getting
those toys right there, because they released some Ninja Turtle 2-packs that are like straight Ninja Turtles. They're expensive.
Yep, these are these are $60 a piece.
Yeah.
And
expensive.
So you get two turtles. Like in this pack here, you get the morphed Donatello as the Black Ranger and Leonardo as the Blue Ranger. They come with 2 separate heads plus weapons, fully posable, as you can see there. Then here's another shot of them here in action, unholding the helmet. I'm a little disappointed in the choice for the faces, but
yeah, their faces aren't great.
No, the faces aren't.
I don't know why they insist on going for this new character design. Donatello with the goggles and the full bandana.
But it sounds like there's a fight club going on over at Lance's house right now.
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys.
You got your April O'Neil and Michelangelo as the pink and yellow Ranger.
See, these are really cool. I'm glad this is happening. But I can tell you, and this is normal for toys, action figures never look as cool as the actual book's art. The freaking art on those comics is badass. Yes, it is so good.
But I like how April O'Neil has her little microphone and camera. I'm almost willing to bet that they just took the original pink Power Ranger toy that they've already made over and over again.
It looks like that.
Swapped a different head on it for April. But I like the nunchucks they made out of the daggers for Michelangelo.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's some more shots of it. Michelangelo looking surprised with his helmet off, and April.
Max,
then you got.
You were saying how like the toys never match the artwork. Like Hasbro does a damn good job, dude. A really good job.
It's really glary. I can't tell. I'm not saying they don't do a good job, because they do. I do think that, it looks really cool. Like, that's an awesome toy. That one's really good. Maybe it's just the pictures here, but the
Yeah,
toys look cool. I just
quite
remember
a
the
few.
art looking even better.
Hasbro does a really good job with their premium figures.
Yeah, and I mean it depends. I've got like you gave me that. I think we talked about it last week. You gave me a Gollum bust, and that thing's freaking cool. You know, I've got some.
Yeah, their Marvel Legends line is really good.
Yeah.
But you got the foot soldier
good.
Tommy with the morphed Raphael.
So is Tommy a bad guy in this book?
So it's been a while since I've read it, but if my memory serves me correctly, I am dying and getting old here. He goes undercover as one of his friends has tried out to be a foot soldier. And so he goes undercover as a foot soldier as well to try and stop him. But when he does, the Shredder gets a hold of the green power coin. And so he becomes like a normal ninja. Like that's the whole thing. Like when they morphed, all the turtles became rangers and all the rangers became ninjas in this book. So then you got Foot Clan soldier Tommy with Raphael, and I think that Raphael looks sweet.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
I don't like the cheesy head.
Yeah, I don't like the head, but
they're
Raph
morphed.
is my favorite, and he's the coolest looking one here.
Their morphed versions are definitely much better than the unhelmeted off versions, but I like the fact that they gave him the sides with Jason's dinosaurs. That was really cool. That's really cool. Here's another shot of the Tommy foot soldier.
So do they have figures for like Jason and stuff too?
No, they have not released the actual Rangers figures yet. It's just been the Turtles one so far, and then the Green Ranger Shredder. And I think this one's sweet too.
That one's really cool.
Just like the detail, like you get into it here, like you can see like the dragon helmet with the eyes incorporated with the Shredder stuff and the power coin there on his belt, and I just think they're super dope figures.
Yeah,
they do a really good job with
this. Is my favorite one. This is the coolest one for sure.
Shredder is just awesome, dude. He's like one of the coolest villains ever. You know, I watched a video. It was for the Daredevil press junket it was Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Wolf, and somebody else was in there. And I didn't realize that Kevin Eastman and them were inspired by the Daredevil comics when they created the Ninja Turtles. Like this was what Charlie Cox was talking about. So like the hand is the foot and like the ninja stuff and I guess in like the first Ninja Turtles book, like the backstory for Daredevil is in it or something like that. But he was going in depth about how he was talking with Eastman and Laird, I'm assuming, about how it was inspired by Daredevil.
I don't know when did the first Daredevil come out?
I'm assuming before Ninja Turtles. I mean, when was the Ninja Turtles comic created? 80s? Early 80s?
So Daredevil was 1964. Yeah, so I'm sure Turtles came out way after that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Ninja Turtles.
He was pretty convincing in this video I was watching.
No, I'm sure. I'm not saying.
That's
I've
why
never heard that.
Daredevil has the hand and Turtles has the foot, and he was drawing a whole bunch of other comparisons.
Yeah, the original Turtles came out in 1984. So yeah, he's probably absolutely right. I've just never heard that comparison. But it makes sense. Hand, foot, what other parts of the body can you make a Ninja Clan out of?
Oh, in the first issue, it actually references Daredevil. His accident is what creates the Turtles.
Oh, really? The fact that his accident that spills the ooze all over the place is what... Okay.
Yeah, it says Matt Murdock's radioactive accident did more than make him a superpowered Daredevil. It also created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Blinded, Matt later discovered the sludge had heightened. Yeah, so the sludge that made Daredevil also made the Turtles. which I'm surprised Marvel didn't sue the pants off them.
I got a good question for you boys before we get into the comic book stuff here a little bit. Jake Gyllenhaal came out during a press release for Spider-Man Far From Home that Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't bathe every day. And people are running wild with this.
Now, I've heard of not washing your hair every day. Apparently, that's not good for your hair.
He says that
I understand.
It's because his physician told him that it's not good for your skin to soap up every day.
Well,
how bad do you think he smells on set? And I love that people are talking about this now with Tom Holland wearing a COVID mask over his mask that says as Tom Holland films with Jake Gyllenhaal. So he's wearing another mask over his mask because he can't stand the smell.
I don't know. I highly doubt the dude smells, but
same. I don't care how much the guy showers.
I think he smells like whatever. He probably smells like sagewood or sandalwood and
he lilac. Just uses a whole bunch of essential oils. He seems like that guy.
Sandalwood and lilac. That's what I feel like he smells like.
Sandalwood and lilac.
I don't care. I still love him.
He smells like a man.
Not showering every day. I mean, Matt, the three of us are bigger guys, so we understand like the importance of showering every day. Because
dude, I stink by the end of the day.
Yeah, we have to shower just by standing out of standing up out of a chair. You know, especially in the summer months here in Arizona.
I just sweat at the thought of sitting in the chair. I'm like, I get to sit down, and it's like, oh man, just sweat everywhere.
It's way too much work.
Yes,
no,
it is.
I don't know.
I sweat ordering at the drive-through McDonald's. Yeah, can I get a 10-piece McNugget and just pouring in sweat? It's like, ooh.
Yeah, it makes you not want to go outside in the summertime.
Yeah.
Like we were out today, my family and I, and after about an hour or two, I told Anna,
you want to take your kids back to school because we heard the story already.
No, I told Anna, I said, I want to go home because now I'm just pissed off because it's hot everywhere. It just doesn't put you in a good mood.
Ish says Leonardo DiCaprio hasn't used a deodorant in over a decade, according to him. There you go.
Either.
Yeah, my fiance says the same thing. I get in the car, I can walk outside and just instantly dripping in sweat. And I get in the car and she bumps my arm. She goes, "Ooh, you're sweaty. You're sweaty already." I was like, "Yep,
sweaty,
sweaty man,
sweaty balls."
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you seen that video of that little kid yet? Go online where he's like, he's got to be like 2-3 years old. He's like, "I'm sweaty," and his mom's like, "You're sweaty." He's like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah,
like,
I have.
She's like, "Where are you sweaty?" She's like, "From my balls to my butt crack. I'm sweaty."
Like
yeah, I'm sweaty from my balls to my butt crack.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Yeah, dude, we went to I might have told you guys this before, but when we went to Six Flags a few weeks ago, I had to go into the gift shop halfway through our day to buy another shirt because I completely soaked through my other one.
Oh, dude, that's San Diego every year for me, man. Like I have to make sure I have an extra shirt in my backpack because so many people, the body heat, you're running around. It just, even though San Diego's weather is usually nice, you're sweating through your shirt in no time.
I really hope we get to go to that next year.
Sweat doesn't pair well with comic books. You're right, it doesn't. But
absolutely right.
But yeah, it's a must. It's one of my survival tips is make sure you're gold bonded in between your thighs and your cheeks, and B, you got an extra shirt because you're gonna sweat through it.
Dude, I bought these things, and we might be getting too gross here, but Old Spice makes these things called chafe sticks that look like bars of deodorant. That when you're chafing on your thighs, you rub this stuff on it like a deodorant, and it is amazing. It's so good, dude. Feels like my thighs have been blessed by God himself.
I'm glad that you can afford the chafe stick, but you can't afford better internet.
I have 500 megs. I pay through the nose.
I just feel like we just got in a roulette chat room right now. And I feel like your camera's going to slowly pan down to your junk. You're just gonna be sitting there in your tighty whities.
Oh, yeah.
Your friend
I have 500 megs unlimited internet with Cox, and it still sucks. I don't know.
Just mind your movements before you make them. All right,
If
let's
it's
get
not
into
his internet. It's his camera. That's usually
right. Let's get into this week's new release books.
Camera.
You should check out.
What's the books this week?
Like I was telling you, number 5 this week, Sinister War number 2 from Nick Spencer. 12 of Spider-Man's greatest villains are out for blood. Spider-Man and each other's Doc Ock, Vulture make their big play in this issue. They're going to shake up New York in the ways you don't think possible. I thought this book was boring. This book was just filler. It was pretty much all the different teams just going after Peter. I feel like Nick Spencer was just like going high and high and high on how good the first 2 issues of this were. And then you got Sister War 1, and then the last issue is Amazing Spider-Man, and now Sister War 2. This book kind of fell off, so I hope the next issue of Amazing Spider-Man kicks it back up, because this left a sour taste in my mouth after talking so highly on this book the last couple of weeks. Number 4 was Batman 111. Batman hits the streets in search of the creature terrorizing Gotham's underworld and hits them hard. First stop is the lair of the Penguin, but Oswald Cobblepot's death. Oh, that's why I forgot to remove the thing from last week. I'm not digging this whole new Batman's Tinian stuff. Don't pay attention to that, because that description is from Reptilian. Last week I didn't change the description. I'm just not digging Tinian's Batman stuff right now, since the whole Future State comeback and what they're doing, and now they're launching into the State of Fear, and I feel like Batman has kind of fallen off, and especially at a $4.99 price point now, it's not the quality you would expect in a Batman book. Now my top 3 this week are all indie books, which is super, super rare for me. But number 3 comes in Not All Robots from Mark Russell. The year is 2056. Robots have replaced human beings in the workforce. An uneasy coexistence develops between the newly intelligent robots and the 10 billion humans living on Earth. Every human family is assigned a robot upon whom they are completely reliant. What could possibly go wrong? Meet the Walters, a human family whose robot Razorball ominously spends his free time in the garage working on machines, which they're pretty sure are designed to kill them. This is probably AWA Upshot. It was a fantastic read. I would definitely recommend picking this up at your comic book shop when you're there next, if you're there this weekend. It was a good read. Another one here by Scotty.
Like that through the whole book?
No, the art is really good in it, but it's not as stylized as the covers are. Like, they have this cover, and then they also had like a old, like, most of them are done by like old paintings, like popular paintings.
Yeah. So
it was a good book read this week. These next 2 books were probably 2 of the best books I've read in a long time. The Me You Love in the Dark by Scotty Young. That's right, Scotty Young, the guy who's responsible for all those stupid little Deadpool chibi pictures, or Gwenpool chibis, or chibi covers. So it follows an artist named Ro, retreats from the grind of the city to an old house in a small town to find solace and inspiration without realizing the muse within is not what she expected. Basically, the premise is she's an artist who's trying to get away from the city because she's got kind of like an artistic block, and she buys this haunted house strictly because it's haunted, and she kind of like taunts the ghost a little bit to kind of come out, and some craziness ensues. So if you like horror books, or just kind of like that dark mystery stuff, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I was really surprised by this book. I picked it up on a whim, and I can't wait for issue 2. My number 1 book this week is Lucky Devil from Dark Horse. I read this book, and I messaged Kyle right away. I was like, hey, man, you need to check out this book. It follows a down on his luck schlub is possessed by a malevolent demon. Just when he thinks things can't get worse, the exorcism goes wrong, and he finds that somehow he's retained all the entity's supernatural gifts. After a path of revenge and all the people that have wronged him, he begins to gather worshipers from a cult. But the Legion of Hell doesn't take kindly to this, and they send demonic agents to murder the schlub turned god before he gains too much power. That's essentially what it is. So it starts off with this dude is down on his luck. Like the first panel, his girlfriend, he's got a smoking hot girlfriend and she's cheating on him, and he's like hiding behind the wall as like the lover shows up, and he's like, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, some things, at least companionship is better than no companionship. So you take the bad and you deal with the, you take the bad with the good and you deal with it. And he gets possessed by a demon, and then all of a sudden he kind of becomes a badass, and he goes to see this guy for like a discount exorcism. And I think they remove the demon from him, but it turns out that he retains the demon's powers, even though the demon has been expelled from. Really great read.
That's cool.
A lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for something non-superhero related, a little bit horror on the side of horror. You're just looking for something different to read. Lucky Devil, definitely my number one suggestion for what came out this past week. So there you go. Some new books for y'all to read. Check out your local shop next time you're there. Support your local comic shop, people. It goes a long way. But now we'll get into the part of the show that I think we've been all waiting for, as Lance Task Force C- leaves. Let's give our review of
internet to speed up here.
You're good now. Let's give our review of Suicide Squad.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Review.
So,
you get to watch Suicide Squad, even though it came out early on HBO Max yesterday and it's coming on the theaters. This is your time. Thanks for watching. Make sure to catch us on the downplay on our download on Monday, or the replay if you want. But we're gonna spoil the shit out of Suicide Squad. And the interesting part is, one of the people on our panel did not care for this movie.
I liked it. I just didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to love it.
Okay.
So let me ask, because you mentioned that it showed up early on HBO Max. Was that a surprise, or did I miss an announcement?
It was supposed to come out today, and it came out yesterday. So I watched it. So I was literally on HBO Max, and it wasn't there. I watched the show I was watching and went back, and it was there, and we stopped watching our show.
At like what time?
It was like 7
like
o'clock
6 or 7.
Dang, man, I wish I had realized that. So I stayed up until midnight so I could watch it and like miss sleep because I had to work today. It was around 11:50. I was like, all right, I'm going to go to HBO Max. I was just playing some NBA 2K21 because I'm still sad about the Suns losing the finals. And so I've been whooping everybody's butt in NBA 2K as the Suns to make me feel better. And I'm like, it's like 11:50. And I'm like, all right, let's just go turn on HBO Max. And boom, there it was.
Yeah, I'd been there for a couple hours.
Turns out I could have been watching it and gone to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, they announced yesterday morning or like early afternoon that they were going to release it at 7 o'clock because it was going to be in theaters at that time too. So they just put it on HBO Max at the same time.
Yeah. I wish I had realized that. Oh, well. I watched half of it, and then I was like, I got to go to bed. I have to work. And then I watched it as I had breaks at work and finished it today. But I loved it, dude. I thought it was so good. I was expecting to like it. I wasn't expecting to love it. And I freaking loved it. This is such a fun movie. I was grinning from ear to ear like the whole time. I don't know, man. I don't understand how you only just liked it. I don't get it.
Well, when it was announced and when James Gunn was announced as the director, and that they were basically giving him license to do whatever he wanted, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to love this movie. And so I was so hyped up for it. I'm like, this movie is going to just blow all the other DC movies out of the water, right?
I think it does.
I think it does
hyped
too.
I hyped it up a lot. But the fact of the matter is that I don't think it's as good as the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, you can't compare that, dude. Like DC to Marvel,
Well, here's the thing. I think that he took a lot of the things that worked with Guardians of the Galaxy and then infused the violence and the cursing and stuff, and then they relied a little bit too heavily on the violence and the cursing rather than fleshing out the story a little bit better. I mean, there were things that I loved about it. I loved the ridiculousness of the Starro, and that whole thing. I loved the fact that nobody was safe in this movie. The one person that died that pissed me off was Rick Flag.
Agreed.
I was super
disappointed about
upset with
that.
that because I love Joel Kinnaman, and he wasn't even going to be in the movie at first, right? And then it got announced later that he was actually going to be in the movie. I think, if I remember correctly, from back when this movie was being worked on or whatever.
Yeah.
Grizzle War Master wants to know, what did you like more, the rat in the ass reference or the starfish molestation?
The at and the rat, or the rat in the ass comment where he's like, I don't think I'm going to give you the answer that you're expecting. Kind of made me roll out of my chair, dude. It was pretty funny. There were some one-liners in here that just had me, belly laughing. The when King Shark makes the little Peacemaker figure out of C4, and Peacemaker just kind of shoots him down a little bit.
Yeah,
he's like, it's nice, but it doesn't look anything like me. And it's like, dude, it's C4. Like, he's like extending. And then King Shark is the funniest part of the movie. Harley Quinn, I'm still trying to figure out why she was really there.
Because she sells.
Yes.
She sells
it just felt like she was put in the movie because she sells the movie, but she doesn't really play a huge purpose.
That's not true at all.
Despite being the highlight actor or character of the entire movie, right? Like, she's the one that people are like, oh, I recognize her, right? And I
would argue she plays an extremely big role, though. I mean, she killed the original president of Corto Maltese, which set things in motion as well. And then she's the one that opens up Starro's eye so that the rats can get in and actually take it down. So, like Grizzle War Master said, she kills Starro.
But it kind of felt like that could have just been anybody that did that, right? Like, it didn't feel like.
I think Harley is the only one.
That she was the only one that could do it,
to
right?
Jump at a freaking giant kaiju starfish.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I was saying, I liked this movie. I just didn't love it, and that kind of. And I told Max, I said, I think I got to stop going into movies thinking I'm going to love them.
Yes,
because when I do that, I always get disappointed because I think my hype for the movie is at an all-time high. And I watch it, and nothing can really live up to that hype.
I just like that this movie took one of the biggest complaints most people had about the last movie, and turned it up to like 11. With that's all I heard is about the first one. Is like, oh, it sucks that Slipknot dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like, you put emphasis on Slipknot and you kill him in the first 5 minutes of the movie. They paid big name actors to be in this movie.
Davidson and
Nathan Fillion. You brought back Captain Boomerang.
Slaughter them in the beginning of this movie.
Which I was bummed because I'm a big Pete Davidson fan, and when he died, I'm like, oh man, I was hoping to see more of him.
I find him so obnoxious. I was pretty happy.
Oh, I love him.
I don't like him at all.
I even like when they're like showing it, getting the team together at the beginning, and he's like getting out of the back of the transport, and he's like, oh, like he's gonna pretend to like grab his gun at the cop there and stuff, and he's like just goofing around. Like, dude, I've never laughed so hard at somebody drowning in my life.
The weasel, you mean?
Yeah. And all the memes that are going around about his little junk now, like the fact that you see Weasel's junk.
You do?
I didn't even notice that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yep. I just love that when he's drowning. And everyone checked to see if the weasel could swim. And Waller just like glances over at the dude who's just nonchalantly sitting there.
Which it sounds like those the two in the control room, I guess you could call it, they're gonna be main characters in the Peacemaker show.
So it sounds like, yeah. So it looks like if you watch the after the credit stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Which the first time I watched it, I didn't realize there was a second after the credit scene. I thought the only one was the weasel after the credit scene. So I watched it again today, mainly because you two were like, this movie is amazing. I was like, okay, what am I missing? So maybe I didn't pay enough attention the first time. And it was better in my second viewing because I was able to give it more attention. I got to say that I love everybody that they cast in this movie. Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, polka dot dude.
Polka dot man. I love that you see his mom everywhere. That he just constantly sees his mother. And that shot when they're like all together and he sees him and she's in like Peacemaker's outfit and it's all like big and massive. She's got the massive pants on. So funny. And when she's like giant, when he sees Star, or when he fucking sees the monster Starro as it, and it's like she's giant and you see her arm flapping away. And oh man,
that's my favorite scene in the movie. Idris Elba telling Polka Dot Man, "Do you see? That's your mother." And then he has this moment of like jubilation. He's like, "I'm a superhero. I'm a super," and then gets smashed.
Dies. Yeah,
dude. Okay, I loved that they had all these characters that were marketed and then killed them in like the first 10 minutes of the movie, though. Like, I don't know why, but going into this, I had a feeling that they were pretty much all going to die except for this cast of characters that's on in the picture right here, like the true main cast. Because on the marketing, these are the ones that they actually showed. And so I was like, all right, I bet those other ones are just kind of cannon fodder. And that's literally what they were. Waller threw them out there just to die as a distraction.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about this movie is like it started and you've got like it paid so much emphasis on Rooker, Michael Rooker and his character and all these different characters. And then they just get slaughtered and you're like, what the hell? Where do they go from here? Where's Peacemaker? How does he fit in this? Where's Bloodshot? Like, how do these guys fit in this? And then it gives you how they fit in. I'm like, all right. And I like how it goes back to before and you see them all in the prison. Like Pete Davidson's character comes walking out with the toilet paper stuck to his foot. And you know, you see like all the kaleidoscope in there and you see Calendar Man in there and just like all these different like B-list, C-list villains. And then you have Weasel licking the window and, you know, it was so well done. And I think now it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. Like as far as a DC movie goes, I have more fun watching this movie than I've had watching Aquaman, Wonder Woman 84, pretty much any DC movie to this point. I feel like this was.
See, and I know you disagree with me, but I liked Shazam. I loved Shazam. Loved it. And I know you're not a big fan of that one, right, Matt?
No, I'm Snorefest.
See, I loved Shazam. And I thought Shazam was more funny than this one.
Oh, but man, I don't agree on that. Shazam, I think I might like Shazam better. I think it's got more rewatchability. Because, like, I'm even thinking about rewatching this movie, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to. Because it's, like, so bloody and just, like, so much. Like, I will rewatch it. I'm just not sure that I want to watch it immediately. Whereas Shazam is, like, just so, like happy and upbeat and fun that I could watch it all the time. But I found this to be one of the most fun experiences I've ever had watching a DC movie.
I got to feel like James Gunn went into this. They were like, look, you have creative control, do whatever you want. And he was kind of like, well, it can't be any worse than a movie they've already made over here. So let's go for it. And he just threw it all. Like, you get a reappearance of John Cena's Root. You get to see John Cena's peen, basically, in his tidy whiteies. You know, like that massive hog.
Dude is ripped, man. Like I've always known that he's ripped, but when he's standing there in tidy whities, I'm like, holy shit, that's a building. Like standing there.
He is jacked, man.
He is jacked. No, I feel like James Gunn was like, you know, if nobody ever hires me again, and this is my last hurrah. You know, because when he got hired to make this movie, he was kind of on the outs with.
Yeah, he was embroiled in that whole scandal. Yeah.
Yeah. That he's just like, let's go balls to the wall. And you can definitely tell, like, King Shark coming in and eating people and ripping people in half. And, you know, Starro taking Thinker or whatever and smashed and, like, obliterating him against a window. Like, the dude basically just explodes on this window.
Yeah,
that stuff you haven't seen really in superhero movies in general. Like, not even Deadpool is as bloody as this movie, and I liked it. I just it wasn't like it's not my top 5 favorite superhero movies ever. I don't even know if it's in the top 10. It maybe, might squeak into the top 10. But
I mean, this movie has everything. It's got violence, it's got action, it's got comedy, it's got full frontal male nudity, it's got, you know, just heart and soul from some of these characters. Like, how can you not feel for the whole connection between fucking Rat Trapper 2 or whatever her name is and her dad? And
yeah, dude, I'm with you, Matt. I don't know where I would rank it as far as like top superhero movies ever, because there's just too many now that I can't just like off the cuff do that. But I can say that it is an absolutely wonderful movie. And as far as the superhero movies I've seen this year, I'm a sucker for Zack Snyder, so Justice League has been my favorite. But this is way better than Black Widow, like way better than Black Widow.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I liked Black Widow as much as we crapped on it.
I had no problem watching this the second time.
Yeah, I just adored it. I was exhausted, dude. So I've been, like I mentioned earlier, I've been sick all week, and I knew I shouldn't have stayed up late to watch this. I should have gone to bed at 8 p.m., but I stayed up, and like from 1 to 1:30 when I was watching this, or from midnight to 1:30 when I was watching this, I was just grinning from ear to ear the entire time. It was absolutely wonderful.
It's don't know about you, but penis isn't a big selling point in movies for me. Hey man, when you see a massive root, you just kind of be like, good on you, man. Congratulations. It did have heart and soul. How can you not feel for Ratcatcher's 2 story with her dad and kind of feel like feel for
right.
Deadshot or Bloodshot's story about him using his estranged daughter against him? And
what is his name? It's not Bloodshot.
It is
Bloodsport or something like that. Or?
Yeah, Bloodsport.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's definitely some connection there.
Or the fact that Polka Dot Man was like tested on by his mother,
right?
And like has all these deep-seated issues and stuff.
King Shark just wanted a friend. He just needed some friends.
I didn't feel a deep connection to like any character really, but that wasn't really the point to me. Like, I mean, they did a good job of adding some heart and soul to it for sure, but
it sounds like something you found on Pornhub.
I will say that I think that the heart and soul of this movie, like the relationship with Ratcatcher 1 and 2 and all those things, it does a better job than Guardians of the Galaxy as far as really getting into the emotional part of it. The emotional part of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, is the Gamora Star-Lord love, thing, will they, won't they type stuff. Like, it's not till Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where you really start getting the backstory about Star-Lord and
this movie had romance. I mean, it was super romantic when Harley and the Emperor or whatever president
that she later shoots in the chest.
Till she shoots him because she would rather murder a boyfriend than let him do anything.
Yeah. Well, no, I love what she says, where she says, I promised myself that if relationship, if I noticed these red flags and stuff, which was in the eyes of like feminism and stuff like that was incredible, because here you got this guy that has, most movies you see this guy come in that's not really a good guy, but he has tons of money and he's really attractive and stuff, and he has all these women swarming around him, and Harley Quinn's like, no, like, yeah, I could have like a nice happy life with you, but these red flags. Like, I thought that was awesome. It was unexpected too the first time I saw it, when he turns around and he just gets shot in the chest.
See,
you're thinking that this guy,
Kyle says Max goes to bed at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I don't. I go to bed at midnight, but because I've been sick, I was saying I should have gone to bed early. See, it's funny. I feel like the
president's going to be the main antagonist throughout the whole movie.
I wasn't sure, because in that moment I'm watching this and I'm just like, he's being crazy. And James Gunn had already set the precedent at this point in the movie that no one is safe and like everybody is going to die. And so I literally was sitting there like, yeah, she's going to kill him. She's going to kill him somehow. I just wasn't sure how. I thought she was going to kick him out the window or something like that. But instead she finds some gun and shoots him in the chest. So for me, I don't know. It was kind of predictable, but not in a bad way. It's kind of what I
about Boogie Nights, man?
takes you out of a movie more than I want a penis shot like Kevin Bacon and Wild Things. Okay, when they're going through the village killing everybody, I'll give you that. But like Kyle says, the Cena route, you got no choice but to kneel before it. All right. So massive. Like that scene too is so funny because like King Shark's about to eat Ratcatcher too, and Cena's standing there in his underwear, and I like how Idris Elba's like, "What are you doing in your underwear and your tidy whities?" And she's like, and he's like, "Hey, that's racist." He's like, "That's not racist. You're in white underwear." Like they had this whole like conversation about it. It's so funny.
That's what I mean.
The most impressive thing about John Cena's package is the amount of steroids that man has taken. You should not be as proud as you think one would be, but he is right. But steroids usually gives you a small weenie.
Well, that man's definitely not small. I'll admit it. I have penis envy of John Cena. All right.
Well, that scene had so many funny aspects to it. I mean, you've got the fact that Ratcatcher sleeps so strongly that she's getting picked up and she's basically planking in her sleep and about to get eaten by a giant shark and has no idea. John Cena comes up in his underwear. They make the whitey-tidy joke or the racist joke or whatever. And then Ratcatcher starts pulling out all of her rats. And you find out that freaking Bloodsports has a terrifying rat phobia. They're like, how'd you never tell us that? And he's like, an assassin doesn't tell you that. He doesn't tell you his weaknesses. It's just so freaking funny.
That's another thing that really, like, he really focused on the trauma of a lot of these characters, where we get Idris Elba's trauma as a child being locked into a crate with rats and stuff, and we look at Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher and all these traumatic experiences that made these villains, they're all villains, the way they are, and that's not something we really saw in the first Suicide Squad, where the only traumatic thing that's explained is Harley Quinn in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
This movie is way better than David Ayer's movie. But like I said, and I've told you guys this in the text, I liked it. It's just not the masterpiece that I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I think maybe it is a matter of expectations, because I would say this was a masterpiece, and I wouldn't say I was expecting a masterpiece either. I just thought it was a ton of fun. It was a great time.
Yeah, I don't think it's a masterpiece either, but it's definitely like the best thing DC has given us in a long time.
See, and I like Shazam more.
I like Joker the best. If we're talking recent DC, that's
yeah. I'm saying specifically DC EU or whatever they call it. Yeah. Which, is there still a DC EU? I don't know. But Shazam is my favorite. This would be number 2, probably.
But I think, like I said, I think John Cena and King Shark kind of stole this movie. Like, one of my favorite parts of this movie is when they're going through the village and Cena shoots that dude and Bloodshot and Bloodsport's like, non-lethal doesn't count. And then he's like exploding bullets, and the dude blows up, and he's like, nobody likes to show off. He's like, unless what he's showing off is fucking dope. And he's like, damn it, he's right. You just get him, and he gets all pissed off because he knows Cena's right.
I laughed so hard in that same scene when he walks by that guy who's like dying on the bed, and he's like, da, 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 like stabs him.
Just stabs him.
I laughed so hard. But
the violence was funny. Like, I loved that. It wasn't just over the top to be over the top. It was over the top to also be hilarious.
And then the other part that made me laugh was King Shark when they're trying to go in, and he was like, I'll put on a disguise. And she's like, you're going to wear a disguise? What are you going to wear? He's like, a fake mustache. And
then he comes over with his finger over.
Yeah, it's fin over his mouth. And Peacemaker's like, that is the worst fake mustache I've ever seen. That is not believable at all. And he gets all mad and storms off. That's so good.
I got to say, probably the best part of the movie is all of a sudden there's just this dude in their group. No explanation why he's there. And apparently Polka Dot Man liked him from the beginning. Milton.
Oh, yeah.
Well, wasn't Milton the guy that was driving the
he was van? The driver of the van. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like he's all of a sudden he's part of the crew and then dies immediately when they go into that building.
Yeah.
And Polka Dot Man is just devastated, and everybody's like, "Who the fuck is Milton?"
I'm gonna say Harley calls Bloodsport Milton later. Like,
yeah. That's not my name. What do you mean? We've had a 4-hour discussion about that year being your name. And he's like, no, we didn't. Yeah, we did. No, we didn't. That was a good movie.
And his gadgets were awesome. I loved how he could just like create all the crazy weapons, and I loved his character.
I'm gonna get honest real quick. So honestly, my principle is I like this movie. If you want to have a fun time watching a movie at home and you have HBO Max, watch Suicide Squad. If you really want to go to the theater and see a movie, go see Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise is so fucking good, dude.
I'll just throw that out there.
I need to see that.
I probably enjoyed Jungle Cruise a little bit more than this movie, and Jungle Cruise is a movie that surprised me.
Jungle Cruise surprised me. I want to see a sequel. Like, they're going to make a sequel. And I liked it more. I think Jungle Cruise had more funny bits in it than this one.
I don't know. The puns and dad jokes got a little over the top, but
I don't, man, I have to watch this movie. I can't imagine any movie coming out this year that I'm going to find funnier than the Suicide Squad.
Jungle Cruise is fantastic, but I saw it in the theaters. The experience might be different at home. I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to watch a movie at home, watch Suicide Squad. If you want to go for a fun, entertaining movie in theaters, I would say Jungle Cruise.
Interesting. I really would have thought you would swap those. This is like this action-packed superhero show.
I just think it depends. Like, Jungle Cruise is such a big movie. To really appreciate it, you gotta see it on a big screen. Like the extra scenery for the scenery and the colors and just everything that goes into that movie it's just made for the big screen versus this is just as enjoyable watching it at home as it would be in the movie theater.
Like, Anna told me that's the best movie she's seen in the last couple years.
Wow.
That she loved it. In fact, I think they're about to start watching it again while I'm doing the show. Because Anna and I went by ourselves. We didn't have the kids with us. Nice. And I loved it, man. It was a great movie. I would say that's probably, it could be The Rock's best movie.
Wow. So without spoilers, what's so good about it?
Just the action. The story's really fleshed out. Like, it's really like, you've been on the ride before, right?
Yeah, of course, many times.
Like, to take that ride and then to make this movie, like, because when they announced it, I was like, that is the dumb, like, of all the rides they could
I thought it was a pretty dumb idea too,
to make a movie out of. And the story that they created was awesome. And then Jack Whitehall, who has a show on Netflix called Travels with My Father, it has to be one about the funniest human beings I've ever seen in my life. And to see him finally get a kind of a starring role in a movie and him be hysterical was also really good. I love Jack Whitehall. Might be my favorite part of that movie.
I think like you've got the chemistry between The Rock and Emily Blunt. You got the chemistry between all the characters. The jokes are funny. The Rock really pulls a good performance out. Paul Giamatti is good in it. Like, there's a lot of I was surprised. Like, I did it just to go do a date night with the fiance, but she was like, when I saw the preview, I was like, it looks stupid. She was like, well, I want to see it. So I was like, all right, I bit the bullet. She's like, oh, are you sure? I'll go see Snake Eyes with you if you want. I was like, nah, we can go see Jungle Cruise. And I walked out of there pleasantly surprised with it.
I walked out of there really happy. Because we were the same thing. We were like, we need to go out on a date. There's nothing to watch. Anna really likes the food at Fat Cats, so she wanted to go there. So we just, basically closed our eyes and picked a movie. I was really happy with it.
Nice.
I'm actually surprised you haven't seen it yet, Max.
I've been home all week. Yeah. I did get it. I did get it on Disney Plus. I just haven't watched it yet. We've been, like I said, we were rewatching all the Harry Potter movies, and when I get into binging, I want to finish it. So I haven't really wanted to watch anything else, and I'm not going to watch it by myself. This is a Disney movie. My wife wants to see it.
You need to watch it with your wife.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to.
But all right.
I would say that movie is probably one of the best things Disney has come out with in a while.
Nice.
All the live action, it's better than Cruella.
It's a bold
Cruella's
statement there,
pretty good.
Cotton.
Cruella was good. If it's better than Cruella,
It's much better than Cruella.
wow.
I haven't seen Cruella yet, so I wouldn't know. I'd have to.
I thought
I'd have
Cruella
to.
I thought Cruella was going to suck, and I thought Jungle Cruise looked kind of crappy too.
I'd have to defer to the wifey to be on that one because she's seen both of them, and I don't know which one is better, Jungle Cruise or Cruella.
The only thing with Cruella is everybody I've spoken to, they're like, well, we've seen 101 Dalmatians, so Cruella doesn't make any sense. So you have to separate all that crap
you have to.
and just look at this individually.
It's an alternate timeline. Kind of.
It says, I got to disagree about Suicide Squad at home. I watched it at home and felt myself nitpicking it and not getting into it. But seeing it IMAX is much more experience in it. I think you being a comic book fan is why you sat there and nitpicked it. Because I've done the same thing in movie theaters. I think for me is because like you go to the theater to
Kyle's
sit
about
there.
To have a conniption over here. I don't know why.
Well, if he wants to have a conniption, he can join the show. But you know, it's like you go to the theater, you're paying a movie, you're paying for this movie, whatever, you're $12, $13, and you know, to me, you'd be more likely to pick it apart than just being like, all right, I'm watching this for a service I've already paid for monthly anyways. So, and I don't have to leave my house. I'm not nitpick, I wasn't as inclined to nitpick it.
Well, I also think you're right, though, that nitpicking is really easy if you're very familiar with the source material.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of these characters except Harley Quinn.
I really enjoy the Harry Potter movies, but every time I watch them, my wife and I are very big Harry Potter fans, her especially. We nitpick the crap out of him the whole time, but we still enjoy him. So, like, I get it. If he's really familiar with a character or two that was in this movie and they didn't do it accurately to what he's used to reading, I can understand why you'd be annoyed. For me, I hadn't even heard of half of these characters. So I have no familiarity.
I just like that you like to pick over, this movie, but you're all gung ho about what they've done to Snake Eyes. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm not familiar with him.
Not you. I'm talking about Ish.
Oh,
Ish.
Ish.
He's a huge,
fair enough,
huge G.I. Joe's fan, and he was like giving Snake Eyes a pass as it's a great G.I. Joe movie, but he wanted the nitpick.
See, and I thought that's the reason Max and I like Snake Eyes, because we're not as entrenched in G.I. Joe knowledge, So to us, it was just a really good action movie.
All right, guys,
and
I'm doing it.
For somebody that is a G.I. Joe fan, that's surprising that they loved it so much.
I'm doing it, okay?
Full frontal male nudity from Max right here.
9.6.
Breakers.
No, 9.6.
I know you did 9.8, but I'm just going to go two little decimals lower.
No. I'd give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Personally,
I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 if I'm doing the 5.
Oh wow,
5-star rating. I freaking loved it.
See, I'd give it a 3. So Matt and I aren't far off. But I walked in thinking I was going to give it a 4.5. So you see my dilemma here? Like I hyped this movie up more than I probably should have.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 3. So that's probably why I liked it so much.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like all I'm saying is excited about this movie than the 2 Marvel movies that are coming out.
The bar was set pretty low, guys. Like the last Suicide Squad movie set the bar pretty low. So you couldn't do much worse than that. So there wasn't very far to go but up. So, you can't hate on this movie too much.
Well, hey, so since people are really liking this movie, right? It's got 96 or 97 on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. Do you think that this reignites the Ayer cut conversation? Do you think people are going to be a little bit more?
I don't think so either, because I don't think that I'm sure that his cut could be better, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was
he comes out and says that's not my movie.
I mean, I guess if his cut is that different, but Enchantress sucked. All of the weird little monster things that were created by Enchantress were stupid. It's like the core of the movie was bad.
Look, Kyle gives Suicide Squad 3.5 couch cushions.
5 steaming hot turns. Miss the Hun didn't even watch it, right?
I want to know what she doesn't like. I want to know what she does, what they don't like about it. Like that's what. I mean, it's easy to say that you hated a movie, but I want to know why. Like, I just want to know what was so wrong with this movie. I mean, I felt like Starro was a little out of place, but
I did too. But I love that about it when this freaking giant freaking starfish stands up and starts like wiggling its top arms. It looked so ludicrous, but in the best way.
Well, the reason I like Starro so much is it gave me the vision of the squid and Watchmen that we should have got that we didn't. And so immediately when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is Watchmen, you know? And Zack Snyder ruined Watchmen. So I almost felt like it was James
See, and I love Zack Snyder's
"Screw
Watchmen
you, Zack
movie.
Snyder."
I think the Watchmen movie is probably one of the best things he's done. The best superhero thing he's done.
It's good, but Watchmen is one of the few movies that I actually read the book before watching the movie, and I was kind of disappointed. And then the Watchmen TV show is light years better than the Watchmen movie.
I disagree.
That shows
you don't like the Watchmen TV show?
No, I mean I liked it, but I don't think it's light years past the movie.
But they introduced things that were like they actually went into the squid thing and all that stuff. Like they kind of retconned some of that stuff that happened in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it was light years better than the movie. But because I thought the Dr. Manhattan stuff was weird. And I mean, really the only concept that really kept was the squid attacks. You don't really, I mean, I don't know. The whole
all
Rorschach
the stuff that happens in the show isn't in the book. It might be in
it's
later
it's
books.
after. No, it's not. It's after stuff like
because there's several Watchmen books, right? Like there's the Watchmen, and then they have some continuation books, right?
They have before Watchmen, which follows the Minutemen.
They don't have anything
like
after
the team before Watchmen. So
Kyle,
Mrs. Hunt says Kyle can keep the Cena rod for himself. And Kyle said, "Sweet, thanks. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween." Cena's crank. I hope so, dude. That'd be fantastic.
Do it.
Just
people are going to mistake you though for the space shuttle.
Yeah,
they're not going to know.
Got to build like some legs, some fucking like paper mache legs, and just be.
I just want to know how you're
the root and the tidy whities.
I want to know how people are going to know that you're John Cena's root. Like, what are you going to like? Are you going to put like wristbands on your wrists and go like this a lot?
You just got to put the little. You could just write "You can't see me" across the band of the underwear, or like Peacemaker across the band of the underwear, or whatever. Like that's what you got to do, man. You just got to be Cena's root. Go for it, Kyle. I fully support that. I fully support it, Kyle. I will be your Cena athletic supporter. Dude, I would laugh. I would lose it if I walked on the street and saw some dude just dressed as Cena's root and like
with the
tidy
police.
whities. Yeah. Well,
Kyle be spending the night in jail for indecent exposure.
He's not really showing anything. He's just
not showing him, but
yes. He's gonna write Cena's root. He said Cena's root across the underwear. There you go.
This reminds me of one of the first shows I ever heard of Absolute Geek, where they
went
on about Batman's root.
Batman's root, yeah. Look, dude, as a man, you can appreciate some other guy's oppressive hog, all right? Like, it's just good on you, bud. I'm jealous. That's all I'm gonna say.
Max, I gotta say, you're looking very much like a Jack Black today.
Thank you.
With the gray and the beard and the glasses.
Oh, yeah, I'm sexy. Thank you.
Mrs. The Hud says, Kyle, all you need is some felt and hot glue. I'm all about creative costumes. There you go. The plans have been put in motion. The wheels are in motion.
For all you Friends fans, you can use pastrami. There's a scene in Friends where he puts on there that he's uncircumcised.
Anyways, I don't want to talk about Friends.
I was just
I don't want to hear about
him.
Friends. So
Boot the man.
we'll just do that right there real quick. Just put him in a little times out. Just giving me the double bird from the background. Did you get that out of your system? Do you need to talk about Friends
No,
again?
it's really funny.
It's not funny.
Lance, you can call me and tell me all about it later, okay? I know
You've seen it. You've watched it, right?
No, I've only watched snippets of Friends.
You can tell Max about it as you guys rock each other to sleep.
I used to not like Friends until I married my wife, and I basically got forced to watch it. And now I think it's one of the funniest
You
shows
just
I've ever
don't
seen.
know how to put up a fight like I do. Because I'm writing that.
Dude, when you've been married for 11 years,
I'm writing those trenches,
battles, bro.
Lance puts up plenty of fights. He was literally fighting with his wife when we were talking on the phone earlier today.
What was that about?
I don't even remember.
Oh, about us in the concert, and then she got mad because I got mad that she was spending $170 to go see Hamilton.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what you're doing is going to be more expensive.
Yeah, but I think it's more worth it. Hamilton's not good.
I agree.
Watch it on Disney Plus.
No,
that's the way I saw
time.
it, and I'm like, "What is the hype of this?" Like, I didn't understand.
I don't get it.
We're probably going to lose some listeners now.
Hamilton.
So good.
I don't know if our audience is big Hamilton listeners.
The musical, like it sells. All right, guys. Anything else you wanna talk about? This
No, I'm good.
Again, I mean, I think we
coming
covered
out
it all.
next week?
Huh?
Is there anything coming out next week besides What If?
Free Guy.
Ooh, Free Guy. There you go.
I'm not very interested in that movie.
I thought it looked funny.
All the Deadpool related commercials make me want to go watch it.
I do like the Deadpool stuff.
Kyle says, "What the fuck is Hamilton?"
Google.
Oh yeah, what did you guys think
Something
of
that cost $170 for a ticket to not even watch the main people play it?
One more thing to touch on Suicide Squad. Did you guys catch the Guardians of the Galaxy Easter eggs in there?
I didn't.
I saw her as the dancer.
Yeah, Mantis is one of the dancers in the Gentleman's Club.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
What's the other one? There is another one.
I thought it was Taika Waititi because I didn't know he was in the movie, but I don't think I'm right on that one. I'm not sure what the other one is.
Well, he's not in Guardians.
Well,
he's a Marvel. He's Korg.
He is now. He's Korg. So, Mrs. The Hunt says Hamilton is highly historically inaccurate, and the musical is mediocre. But Jesus, she's just full of that hate sauce tonight. Somebody drank their haterade before she came over here tonight.
See, I would argue with the historically inaccurate because
it is historically inaccurate.
But he goes into some like dark history stuff, like
and he did lose a shootout to Aaron Burr and died, but it's still a lot of it is historically inaccurate. Apparently, he's from what I've heard, he's an asshole. So whatever.
Well, they talk about that in the play. Like he cheats on his wife, and he does some pretty asshole stuff in the play. I don't know. But yeah, dude, What If next week? I thought there was another Guardians reference because I was reading about it, but I don't remember.
I know there's at least two, but
what the F is going on? Kyle asks. I think we're about to
asked that question more times.
That's what's going on.
The Mantis one is the big one that I caught on to. But all right, that's where we'll end it this week. Thanks for everyone coming out of the chat. Kyle, thanks for livening up the place, I guess. Mrs. The Hun, Quantum Kyle, Stumbling Jai for stopping in. Aaron, everyone in the chat. Great as always. Guys, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek podcast. And I am Matt.
I am Max.
This feels like Nerd Dorks Geeks Unite all over again.
Nope, we're not going there. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.